And we're back. Thanks again for watching Roll for Mischief. We're going to dive right into the new episode titled Trust Falls. And Josh has informed us that in our game time, we've had about 3 to 4 weeks of our characters just kind of chilling on their own and just recovering. And so we're going to do a
So
short.
that's 3 to 4 weeks after like the death of Ethel and
Yeah,
just some heavy
some
shit that
heavy
went
shit.
down.
Yeah. So we're going to do a short little discussion and talk about how our characters were affected by the events of the previous episode and what they've been doing with their time since then. And I'll go ahead and start with Eigner. Eigner honestly had a very rough time emotionally with the last episode, and he was grappling with this whole like, am I a spider monster? Am I truly a spider monster? And then when Ethel showed up and gave him this ring that was suppressed his spider form, he kind of clung on to Ethel and was, like she's the first person that actually like knows a little more about this thing. So he really clung on to her for support and for answers. Was just looking for all sorts of answers. Seemed like Ethel was going to be able to provide that, but then it got really complicated, and Ethel was like, I don't know, looked like she was getting possessed by some kind of air elemental or something, and then she died. And so Egner's just torn up and doesn't really know how to deal with it. So he deals with it the only way that he knows how to, which is that he retreats back to his wilderness abode, still covered in all sorts of intricate spider webbing and uh, all sorts of stuff like that. And he's just sought his solitude. He tried to pray again, to try and connect with some kind of faith that he's long since lost. But it's a futile effort, absolutely futile. But he just tries it anyway. He's also been spending time with this very mysterious old wizened halfling dude that he
Uh,
found in the foothills, living in a cabin all by himself. That fellow's name is I think it was Merrick Oxhead, and
that sounds about right.
he's a grumpy old halfling who, believe it or not, is a tactical mastermind and knows many techniques about fighting. And Egner's been spending time with him just trying to hone his skills. And I don't know. Merrick is not very good emotional support, however. So I'll just leave it at that.
Nah, he's like an abusive Yoda.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I know we talked about Merrick a
We
while back.
did, we did, and he's an abusive Yoda.
I couldn't find a way to really work him into my thing my last session, so I wanted to, but it
Oh,
didn't seem to make sense.
he'll be here. Don't worry. He will be here eventually.
Oh,
So
I know.
someone
I'm
else,
excited for more
yeah.
abusive Yoda. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Keep moving on.
Someone else take it away.
All right. So On has been keeping it simple. At the end of the last adventure, he was thoroughly freaked out by the twists and abominations of nature, especially since he started warming to the druids and their take on things. So he decided to step back again and become a bit more reclusive, especially since he's now got from his intern Zelor, the dwarf, he's managed to find a small shard of something that would allow him to keep tabs on Garth, provided that he attunes it to Garth. So this is a weapon in his arsenal to try and bring down the stranglehold that is on Twin Harbors and try and allow it to breathe and grow naturally, and take its own control over, rather than have some puppet master behind it, which is
Now, is it really natural if someone else comes in and does something that removes a person from power?
oh, this is it. The entire thing is some misguided venture on On's part. So for the time being, he has been picking up the occasional job where he can, maintaining his relations with the guards of the town, keeping his nose clean, and just sort of meditating on what it is he should do with this power. The last adventure, he used powers that he previously did not use. He managed to charm and manipulate people using magic, and it was relatively consequence-free.
Much to Eigner's chagrin,
Yes.
he was not too happy about it. And yes, there were consequences.
I mean, magically, magically speaking, like not a lot of wild magic explosions happen. So like one or two bits here and there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So as far as Onn is concerned, like the social ramifications, the social consequences, that's nothing. But yeah, like a lot of people got very upset. On was a bit apprehensive about the whole thing, but I feel that On's starting to rationalize to himself that the ends might well justify the means, which is sometimes a dangerous route to go down.
All right. Well, so Eridu has an even longer stretch away, as he wasn't present for the adventure, the last adventure, for reasons unknown. Like I was running it, so I couldn't play him. So he spent that time. We kind of got a glimpse that he spent that time with the druids, trying to help them figure out what was going on, or how they're going to connect with the Feywild, and Eridu or Agner had asked him if he really had made any headway, and his answer was pretty much no. Like
Sorry about that, folks. Totally. Just my computer just said, hey, your internet connection's unstable, and then it stopped, and then it restarted. Sorry.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Eridu, druids, hanging out with them, not really making much headway in convincing them to forego their plan. But what he has been doing is connecting with the Feywild a lot himself, and teaching those who will listen how to do that. At least as far as like how, in his limited knowledge. So because of that, coming into this next session, Eridu is going to have a few new tricks, or rather, one specific new trick that isn't as new as we might think, just new to him. Also, his hand that he caught the bullet in is still very much bandaged, despite the fact that it's been over a month since that happened.
Well over a month.
Yeah, it's been like a month and a half.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, that's what's going on there. And I don't remember if that was right or left, and I'm not doing the research at the moment, so we'll get.
I guess because I
sure
do
it was
want
predominant, I think it was
Alton
right.
is. Oh, it probably was his right hand. I don't think that we. I don't remember if he said anything. No, I think it was right. I think that you said last week it was right. Alton is beyond doing. Alton disappeared. After we came back, Alton just disappeared. I will give you all one behind the scenes thing that he did. Is one of the things that he did was erased that drug that he was in the process of creating.
Oh, that's
So he went to everyone. He collected every scrap of paper they had. He destroyed any and all materials and everything, and he did it before anybody knew what he was doing. So they didn't think anything to like hide it from him. Because he at the end of the last episode he realized the dark path that he was going down, specifically because of the events of the last episode. All the stuff that was going on. So he did that. Beyond that, all you know is that Alton just completely just disappeared. So that's all you know, at least for right now. So whenever you guys are ready.
I am listening.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're
With
Oh, we're
All
ready.
Okay.
my listening skills.
Oh, we're so ready.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm gonna turn around and each of you get a visit uh from Emily of all people, and she knocks on each of your doors. If you'd like to role play, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the? Give us the thing.
Okay, so she comes in and she knocks on. If anyone wants an individual role play, or I can just tell you, it's up to you. But she comes in and she talks to each of you individually, and she says that she received word that Alton is coming back into town, and to meet him at the docks. Nothing cryptic. She doesn't know. He just sent a short message in very Alton fashion. She didn't feel like he was being cryptic or hiding anything. He was just like, "Hey, tell him to meet me at the docks," kind of thing. Just not really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see any real role play benefit from my perspective, so I could just see that being like a.
Yeah, Eigner, it wouldn't be much of a conversation, but Eigner would start by being very, how to say, just resistant and just say, like, not even want to see her and say, like, go away. And then she'd probably be like, no. And then I was like, go away. And then she would say no. And then we had that conversation. That's essentially how that went.
Gotcha.
You know what? On will invite her to partake in a drink,
Okay. Yeah.
and On will then awkwardly bring up the fact that her husband's dead.
Of course.
Would you like to roleplay this, or would you like to just?
Yeah.
Okay.
It
so go
has
ahead
to
and-
be role played with that opener right there.
Yeah. With that open,
Get
so,
ready.
we'll play as Red that you invited her to sit down for a drink.
Okay.
So
Emily,
yes.
I'm reminded of the fact that your life partner is dead.
Yes.
Do you still feel sadness?
I don't think I ever will stop feeling sadness. Even if I find somebody new to be with, I will never stop being sad. I don't I don't think that once you love somebody, you can ever stop loving them, whether they die or you fall apart or whatever. That love, whether there's animosity or not, that love doesn't stop. So yes, I will always love Akram.
And that love brings you sadness?
No, the love doesn't bring me sadness. The love brings me joy. The I mourn what I miss, not him. People do funny things. People aren't sad because somebody's dead. They're sad because they're not in their lives anymore, and they know that they'll never have someone in their life again.
Do you believe perhaps that Okram is suffering?
No, I don't think that he is suffering. I think that he is peaceful in the land of the dead, um, and
Do you
even
think
if
his
there's,
predicament is one worth rejoicing?
I don't think rejoicing is the word I would use. I would say it is worth it is worth remembering him and celebrating his life.
How do you celebrate his life?
I I don't know if you know this, but the reason why I started the temple to the Queen of Ravens is because of him, because he started having a connection with her, and because I wanted to find some way of connecting to him through death. And the other thing that I do is Akram loved the people, and while he sacrificed his life for all of them, he sacrificed his life for the children first, and ensuring the safety and the well-being of the children is another way that I honor him. I honor him every time that I am kind to somebody or understanding if somebody else is unkind to me.
Do you anticipate seeing him again?
Not in this life. The next, maybe. If there is a next life, I believe I will see him.
Do you seek an expedition to that next life?
No, that would not be a celebration of his life.
Curious. I would have thought that if you truly missed him, that you would want to die and see him sooner. I could happily oblige. I have weapons.
I don't think that that would be possible for you to actually succeed at. No. Life.
Fight, fight.
There is a noble that
fight.
once says that life is for the living. That life needs things to live, and I think that that it's important for us to do as much as we can in this world before we move on to the next one.
Yeah. I still am clear. I've been thinking a lot of Akram lately. The legacy that he left behind, the impact that he had, which perplexes me since his impact remains and yet he does not. The fact that he was here and is no longer seems to have little regard for the fact that he was here and we remain while he does not. The effect that he had on other people's lives, they continue like waves on a pond. They continue on regardless of the absence of the source. It's strange, and everything's so interconnected. I truly understand.
I think you do. I think you just showed that you understand more than you'll perhaps ever know, but that was truth and understanding.
Thank you for joining me for this drink, Emily. Been somewhat enlightening.
You're welcome anytime, Onn, anytime. And she puts the cup on the table and gets up and walks out the door. And before she leaves, she kind of gives him a little nod and a wink and closes behind her.
Sweet.
Nothing sexual, just kind of like
Kyle's massive wink there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a.
I just like to use my facial expressions to really like emphasize the situation as much as I can. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shall
Okay.
head to the docks.
Guess I'll head to the docks. See what these fools want.
Okay. So, and obviously, Eridu, I'm assuming you were also heading towards the docks?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
so as you are heading down the docks, it is straight just down the road. Almost as if it were on a horizon. But it's not, because obviously it's not that big of a city. But something becomes aware. Something you start to recognize. It is a unforgettable Caravel class ship. Standing before you is unmistakably the MSV Tranquility.
Wow. Cool. I'm into it.
So, meeting up at the docks, this will be the first time that Eridu has seen Onn since, since the whole assassination
Right.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eigner got to see him. He did that. He went and saw his buddy
Yeah.
first.
Yep.
And at the time, Eridu was looking pretty worn down, pretty exhausted. Now he appears again in his fine, clothing, but it doesn't seem like the attention to detail is there. It doesn't seem like he put as much time and effort into his appearance as he normally would have. He still is dressed fine, but it's not like his clothes are kind of wrinkly and his hair is not perfectly in line like he would normally have it. It just that whole sense of arrogance in his appearance is a little less there. But more than that, on probably noticing this more than anybody who's not Fae, just the brightness in Eridu's eyes is much more noticeable. Something that speaks to a firmer connection with the Feywild.
Whoa. Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Eridu will greet them both with a great hug, telling them he's missed them both.
It's always good to see you, Eridu.
Yes. I hope you're doing well, Eigner. It seems that last time we spoke, you were going through a very difficult time, and I have not heard from you, and I have worried.
I've been working. It's for the best. That's what keeps my mind off of what happened.
Yes. I do understand. Know that you are a dear friend to me, and if you ever need just to be away, I am always available for you.
I appreciate that very much. I, in fact, came here to tell the both of you, I just wanted to see you, but I'm not entirely sure that I can go on some harebrained adventure right now.
I'm gonna look Agner up and down, take in his whole.
From far above, all of a sudden, you hear another very familiar voice to you because you've all kind of worked, you've all kind of had interactions with the Tranquility. You all of a sudden, hey, over here, guys! And you look up in the crow's nest and you see a skinny, small, very deceptively frightening young female human. And she looks excited to see you.
Okay. Wait, is it someone that we know? Is it?
Yes,
is
it is.
NPC that
It
we know?
is Melody Simon. She is a monk of quite renowned. She has strong fighting. She is very intelligent. She spends as much time kicking ass as she does hiding in a corner.
Okay.
And when she kicks ass, it is a sight and a spectacle to behold, and you know it's your time to sit in a corner and watch the almost comical death and destruction that's about to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, no, we know Melody quite well.
I mean,
she-
she's
Yeah,
a
you guys
member.
know.
She's a member of the crew of the Tranquility.
for sure.
Right. Yeah, she's just up in the crow's nest.
She
Yeah.
often portrays herself in a very childish manner, and then when she
Yeah.
is not a child, she is outright terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know her quite well.
Okay, I'm getting it. I understand.
I was hoping you'd pick it up eventually.
No, I get it. I remember now.
Yeah, you remember.
Yeah.
And then right after she does that, you see pop like almost half over a very kind of like greasy, like grease covered face, a little halfling, and she pops over and just has the most beaming smile that you've ever seen in your entire life. It will melt the most hardened steel to see it. And she waves to, come on, y'all.
Eigner's gonna fall in love and then fight himself a medic. He's gonna have to fight a cleric for this one.
Oh
Just
dear.
saying.
Oh
Just
dear.
saying.
Oh gosh. What are we even doing here? Where's Alton?
Eigner, I think right now a harebrained adventure with friends you have not seen in a long time is exactly what you need.
Eridu, you know I can't say no to you, but I really want to. I just don't know what I can gain, and I just need to rest right now. Like, how do you not see
hold
that?
on. I need you to roll a perception check, Eigner.
Got it. Oh wow, it's a 4, so I think that's like a total of 9.
Okay. And somehow it seems almost impossible that you missed this. Perhaps you're just in your own
mentally,
self-loathing.
very mentally preoccupied. You know.
A lumbering half-orc just comes up from behind you and grabs you
Oh my
and
god.
just lifts you up in the air. And he's wearing this like really weird orange cap,
Uh-huh.
and
Oh god.
and he's like, hey buddy,
Wow.
and he kind of like sets you down.
Good to see you again.
And you remember that his name, one word, is Jaincob.
Jaincob.
So, Jaincob.
Jaincob. Jaincob.
Jainkobb.
Jaincob. Jaincob.
Yep.
Okay.
He is a half orc, and so
Jaincob,
therefore
okay.
that would be his name.
Good to see you, Jacob. Can you?
Yep. And then he gives you a massive slap on the back. Go ahead and give me a
What? Give you
athletics.
give you a what?
An athletics.
Okay, I got 24.
Oh, 24?
24.
Yeah, you like, he slaps you hard on the back, but you just like grunt. You're aware of his existence now, so you're just like, ugh.
Jacob, tell me. It's good to see you, by the way. Tell me, what is it that you're doing here?
We're taking the lot of you over to Silent Sea.
What?
What do you got? Yeah,
Where is that even?
the Silent Sea. It's the small islands to the west of here. It's where Alton is from.
Ugh. Jacob, don't you remember that I'm seasick?
Well, it's up to you if you want to go or stay, but I'm not the boss. If you want to talk to Cap, you can go ahead and talk to Cap.
Ugh. No, I mean, it's fine. I want to talk to Alton wherever he is.
Oh, chances are he's up in the crow's nest.
Sure. Okay.
Between you and me, he's got a little crush on the only other telepath in the group.
Uh-huh. Well, what do you all think? The Silent Sea? Have you even heard of that place before?
Go ahead and who is proficient in history? Roll me a history.
I'm not proficient in it. But,
Oh, numbers, you elude me. But that I mean I need to press buttons. I rolled a 7, but I have bonuses, so it is a 12.
You are vaguely aware of the Silent Sea.
I do seem to recall
come
there
from
was...
there. You've heard Alton kind of reference them a lot.
Right.
He obviously every time that he complains about something that the big folk do, it's always in comparison to
Oh yes, I
his
remember
people.
that. Eridu remembers that quite vividly. But yeah, aside from it being the home of Alton's people and these mind-invading halflings, he doesn't know that much about it.
Yeah.
He does know its general location. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
That's for sure. He's heard something. It's mostly little folk, obviously. That's about it. How that is defined, you don't know, but
Okay. Well, I don't know why, but it seems like no one's gonna let me stay. It's just gonna be a lot easier just to head on out.
I'll put an arm around Eigner and start walking towards the boat and say, "No one is forcing you to do anything against your will.
But you're
You
so
can leave
you're so
whenever you
goddamn persuasive.
As I'm saying
Eridu.
this, I am walking him toward the boat. You are welcome to be on your way whenever you choose.
Oh no, I'm just gonna start laughing and just like maybe almost just crying and oh, Eridu, what? Why even?
Because I am your friend.
Very well. Very well.
As you can see, Eridu got a slight bump in charisma.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I have to look. I have to look at it, but very close. But I see it.
Yeah, it's a.
Oh
very-
no, he got a +1. That's reflective of today's image. He got a +1 bump though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
it's not even enough to like give me a stat modifier increase. It was just a bump from a 12 to a 13.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So-
it's
so
totally
not
not important to my class
Not
at
important. So I guess Eigner and Eridu will be trying to make their way to the crow's nest and try and shout at Alton if they can.
Okay. So you go up to the crow. You go up to the. Are you gonna climb up the crow's nest? Or
Nope.
you-
Oh no, not doing that. No. I am standing at the base and I'm yelling up to Alton. And I'm going to say, Alton, I know like you're having a good old telepathy time up there, but you got to come talk with the big folks with your mouth.
Alton pops his head out. I don't think you've ever seen Alton with a smile on his face.
Nope.
He's got not a huge smile, but it's a little grin. It's the closest you've seen to him doing this.
Okay.
So, he's got a little grin, little smirk on his face.
Okay.
And without question, he kind of just like jumps out and kind of slides down the crow's nest like with ease,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of lands on the ground.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Alton, you've gathered us here together.
Mhm.
It's good to see the crew again. It's good to see you again. What exactly is it that you would like from us? I know that you would like to go to the Silent Sea. Just homesick? I can understand that. It just seems
If
like
I was homesick, I would have still been with my family. No. You're gonna have to.
Oh,
I think.
whoops.
Yeah, you're
Did
gonna have to.
Asa? Gosh, fine.
We'll have to make sure that doesn't happen anymore.
Okay.
All right.
Damn it, Asa. It's fine.
No. So he says, no. During the last mission, and don't look, it's my fault more than anybody else's. But I realized that we are not a team. We've been working together for months now. I mean, yeah, on and off, but we're not a team. We're not working together. We're not communicating properly. We're not opening up. We're not. I mean, we're not doing anything. This is affecting our performance. This is almost killing us. I should have been there when that vampire was attacking you guys. Instead, I hid off in my corner because I was like, these guys are idiots. Why should I bother?
Alton,
that's not right.
Alton, for once you've said something that I can agree with.
So there is, in the Silent Sea, there is a tradition on. Hold on a second. I remember the. So on Outlook Island, there is a just a little campsite. It's there. You go there and you rebuild relationships. And I think that it is time for us to build our relationship because we aren't even at the point where there's anything to rebuild. And so I went back home. I asked people to help me set things up. And we are going to go there and have team building exercises. We need to be a unit. We need to care about each other. It's not scary. Nothing's life-threatening. I know that you're exhausted and you're really weirdly attached to that woman and really weirdly attached to that woman. And all that other stuff. But we're all still here. And we have to start being on the same page. Things are not getting better.
I suppose that is fairly logical. The events that we have all survived through have been rather harrowing, and rather than banding together, as it seems our foes have, we have allowed ourselves to get wrapped up in our own concerns, to not tackle problems together as a team. We've witnessed a few fairly large-scale assassinations in terms of their effects. And the world is starting to seem a lot more of a darker place. Perhaps this island retreat for a short time would be ideal for us to start working together to be able to combat these forces of darkness.
Yep. Now that I think about it, I needed a vacation anyway. Y'all just gotta promise me one thing. When we're in a combat situation, I'm the leader. I call the shots.
Seems perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, okay.
Of course you do.
Got the tactical mind. I know you don't believe me, Eridu. I know it's because you beat me at chess all the time, and you think you're the tactical mind, but it's chess is not even relevant.
Eigner, I cheat.
I'm not even going to respond. It just looked super embarrassed. Well,
Okay.
I guess we're all in.
Okay, you're all in, and so a very imposing tiefling woman walks up to you. Her name is Zoe, Zoe Wash. She is big. She is scary. And but she is somehow still disarming. Like she doesn't like. You could feel like at any moment she could grab your face and crush your skull, but at the same time, she's never like it. She never feels like she's gonna hurt you. A very weird mix. So she walks up and she goes, the gang's almost here. Cap's in his bunk. We just gotta wait for a couple of our stragglers, Simon and Sarah. They're in town taking care of whatever business they're taking care of. And then once they're back, we'll head out.
Are there quarters to which we might retire for the journey? I assume it'll be longer than a day.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, yeah, no, it's gonna. You guys are familiar that they have plenty of bunks, plenty of spare rooms,
Ah, good.
or spare bunks, should I say?
So Sierra will be joining us in this. That's what I heard.
Yes, that is what you heard.
Okay. Eridu, yeah, he is quite glowing.
He's quite glowing.
He's glowing.
He's very excited.
One thing.
Yeah.
Do you have a chessboard on this ship?
Have you not met us? I mean, I know you've been on this ship.
Yeah.
Does anyone besides the two people not on this ship play chess?
I mean, I was just making sure. I'm sorry if I made any offense.
I'm not offended. I'm just flabbergasted at your stupidity. I expect that out of Jacob. I do not expect that out of
Well,
you.
obviously,
You are a much smarter man than that.
Obviously, I've been hanging out with Jane Cobb too much.
Apparently so. Okay. So obviously in short enough order, in like, a couple hours or so, the Sierra joins them, comes back on the ship first. She has people dragging a lot of luggage with her, and she kind of heads back down to. She's the only other person besides the captain who has her own bunk in her room. Well, technically Zoya does, but she shares it because her husband Heward is there too. So that doesn't quite count.
He spends most of his time, piloting the ships.
Yeah, he spends most of his time, piloting the ship. So
it's not the right word for a sea ship, but you know what I
yeah, I think it is.
Is it?
Oh. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I may be wrong. I'm not a whatever. I was never in the Navy, so I don't know. But I want to say it is. Either which way. So she goes off in a room and she gets everything of hers unloaded onto the ship, and then in time, Simon kind of slinks in and just kind of goes into the galley and just kind of sits down and has a bite to eat.
I will join Sierra. First off, I'll volunteer to help bring her things in, and then when she has a moment to rest, I'll take a seat. It is lovely to see you again.
It has been a long time, has it not?
It has. I am sorry my contributions to the guild have not been what they were. Uh, I have been very busy lately with other affairs. I hope it has not
Um,
been a problem.
your activities are not, shall we say, hidden from pretty much anyone in the world. We're aware of we're aware of why, and uh, the reason why nobody has come to bother you is because we feel that you are doing good and you should be given the freedom to do as much good as you can. The guild only gains as much as you do good.
Yes, I thank you. I have joined the guild in the hopes to spread love as much as I can, and I think that what I am doing now is greater than anything that I have done so far. I appreciate you.
We appreciate you too.
And from there, I would say they engage in small talk. I don't think there's anything that I personally would like to roleplay in this scenario, but
Okay.
that's where he'll spend a good amount of his time for
Hey,
evening.
right. So, okay, it's not that far to get to the islands. You guys are passengers. Alton has paid a fee, so you do not have to work. So
Cool.
you are free to excuse me, go about on your business as you see fit. If there's anyone that you'd like to talk to, anyone that you'd like to meet up with, if you'd like to just check out the scenery, whatever you want to do, you've got about a week and a half-ish, give or take.
Okay, so we're going straight to like the ship set sail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's, unless everybody has um yeah. Yeah, she would. And
Okay.
that's why she has greases, the cannons.
Okay.
Well, Eridu will spend a lot of his time on the deck.
Mhm.
Either working through certain motions near the water, and some of those actually allowing him to manipulate the threads of water, or climbing about. Most of his time he's actually spending wearing very little clothing for the ability to maneuver faster.
Okay.
And for those of you who might see it as often as he can, he will take a moment and for a split second seem to disappear, only to appear 30-40 feet distance from where he originally started. I would think of people who notice this, maybe Onn might find this something that is a little interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah. In fact, could I see if I can, perhaps using the Arcana skill, see if I can work out what it is that Eridu has just done? If it's some
You can
artifacts that
use
he's manipulating with
Arcana,
magic.
or you can ask him. Either one, however you want to do it.
I'd like to see if I can intuit it myself rather than asking him outright. So let's see here. That is a 4. Added onto my Arcana, which is +5. That's a 9.
Oh yeah.
I will allow you to use. I was thinking about it, but I wasn't sure about it. I'll allow you to use Wisdom if that helps as your Arcana modifier, because it's kind of perception-y.
It doesn't.
Okay.
Nope.
Then you.
Oh,
keep
and
it
we
cheap.
we can see on the overlay that you have an intelligence of 14 and a wisdom of 12, so it doesn't help.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I'm not looking at the overlay, so because I got to keep eyes on the.
You wish
yeah.
you could see it.
So yeah, so no, so yeah, you're not 100% sure. You know, you can have your suspicions, but nothing. You can't. It doesn't confirm anything for you.
Eridu,
Oh, Onn, I didn't see you there. That's a lie. I totally saw you there. What can I do for you?
oh, I didn't see you there.
There's also the bloop. And now
Yes.
I didn't see you over there. You're so far away.
So when you're doing push-ups and you go 1, 2, notice someone 512, 513.
Yep.
Gavel, gavel, gavel.
Eridu, you appear to be in possession of far greater skills than when we last saw each other.
Well, yes, I've been spending a lot of time working on my form and trying to learn from the druids what I could. But what do you mean specifically?
I simply mean that when last we spoke, you found it difficult to access certain abilities, certain ways of communicating and interacting with the Feywild. It seems to me that perhaps you've mastered and overcome that shortcoming.
With this, Eridu will put a hand on On's shoulder and look. On's taller,
Yes.
I believe
I don't know how tall you guys are comparatively.
and look up at On and say,
London.
"We are good friends. Speak plainly, will you? What are you asking me?"
Did you just move through the Feywild?
With this, Eridu will have a wide, knowing grin. On, you gave me a gift, and I have spent my time learning how to best utilize this gift. It is something that I am trying to share with the druids so that they can connect with the Feywild themselves, and they can understand that it is not about bringing the Feywild to our world, but it is about bringing ourselves to the Feywild. It is about reconnecting with the things that make us of the Fey in the first place. Yes, I can walk into the Fey. It's something that I have learned from you, and it is a debt that I can never repay you.
I am unsure what to do with this information. I suppose a thank you would be in order, as it seems that you are thanking me. You're welcome, I think? Oh, I should be thanking you.
You have
I'm not
never
sure.
heard a tiny voice as this bellow so loudly. Hard to port! And with a sudden judder, without question, the ship banks wildly, and maybe 15, 20 seconds later, from impossibly deep to sea below, a massive turtle erupts from the ocean, clearly thinking that it had a grasp on the ship, and moving, and as it lands, it creates a smack and a wave, and it pushes the ship along and just judders everybody along. And Melody jumps out of, or she falls out of the crow's nest and grabs a rope and swings around, and in the greatest spectacle that you've ever seen of somebody falling gracefully into action, she grabs the sails and helps Wash just clip as hard port as possible.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So,
Does
Eigner.
it look as though this is... Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say that Eigner was really affected by that because I was just thinking about what he was doing, and he was hanging out with Jane Cobb, because Eigner gets seasick, and the way that he thinks of it with his rationality, he just needs to drink
Right.
alcohol and like so much so he like pukes, and then it's just kind of like once you puke, you feel better. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like he's hanging out with Jane Cobb and getting that orcish rot gut, that
Right.
that good, and
Right.
So that's, if we get into a battle, that's unfortunate because Eigner's wasted right now.
And you said you threw up on.
Oh
Did you throw up on him or in front of him?
no, I mean like they tried to throw up off the back of the ship, like it's customary. It's like
Okay, so you throw up, and just like anyone, like I don't care how strong your stomach is, somebody else throws up, and it just like it causes that reaction in you, and you're just like,
yeah.
and he just follows suit.
Yeah.
Like at first he starts to laugh at you, but
Yeah.
it just cuts out, and he just watches that pool
Yeah.
in the ocean right there, and it's just he starts thinking about it, and that stuff in the stomach just starts
Yep.
to come up, and he just
So yeah,
So-
so it's a bad time to be on the deck of the ship, vomiting off the back of the ship. But that's where Eigner
Yeah.
is when the whole thing goes.
right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's happening. So you have this massive turtle. People with Arcana and History checks, if they want to know what this is, you can roll.
I'll go for Arcana. Do you want to have a go for History?
I've already rolled it.
Okay.
I actually was gonna. I thought we needed a dexterity roll for standing, so I rolled that, and I'm just gonna stick with that.
Oh, no, because there's no way you're falling off of that. That's not. You had a giant wave smack the ship, and if you'd like to roll a dexterity, you can. But I assumed everybody lost their footing.
I mean, I would like to be impressively not losing my footing. If I
Okay,
can.
go for it. Roll. You can use that roll for dexterity if you'd like.
I would love to, because I don't care about the Arcana thing or the History thing. That could fail for all I care. But this is
Okay.
exciting. That is a 20. Maybe
Okay.
Or if it's just it's a 20.
Okay, so yeah,
Or
yeah.
23 if it's a save.
So, yeah, that would be a dex save. So you start to fall, but you put your hand out and do kind of like a capoeira flip, and you manage to kind of catch yourself on the other side.
Okay.
Not necessarily the most graceful thing, but definitely kind of badass.
All right. And then my just offhanded history check to see if I recall what this thing is a 16.
On.
I rolled a 1. Like, in total, it's a 6, because I get +5 to Arcana, but I rolled a natural 1. So as far as
Right.
I'm concerned, this is a fairy or something.
I really want to just hear how Onn explains this.
So you guys can have a debate. Onn sees a giant fucking turtle and is amazed by it. Eridu has never seen one, but has heard stories of dragon turtles.
Dragon turtle. I knew it.
I
knew it.
And so while this is crashing and they're pulling away, and the dragon turtle was not prepared for that situation. Usually dragon turtles can just come up from below and just ram a ship, and the big things don't turn fast.
Right.
Tend to be the case. And so it wasn't anticipating it was anticipating an easy takedown that it didn't get because a little tiny wee lass who is in tune with the world around her to a degree that is otherwise impossible. And so you guys now have information. One of you thinks it's a giant fairy turtle, and the other one thinks it's a dragon turtle. You can debate it out if you'd like, or just accept whichever you think is the truth.
Well, I don't know what Onn is going to do, but Eridu will, pretty much having his footing again, make his way to the side of the boat where he can see it and just stare at it, just marvel at its gorgeousness.
Gorgeous.
On
Gorgeous.
will follow suit. I'm going to grab a hold of some rope, some rigging, something to keep a hold, and stare out and observe this majestic being that is obviously just a regular turtle that some pixie, nixie, or brownie has just exploded and ballooned into a ginormous size. That's the only explanation for this sort of thing.
Yeah. And Eigner is he's
That's
just
pretty much all that's going
flat
on. You guys don't
down.
discuss?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So then, yeah, you continue on, both of you marveling at a dragon turtle.
I think we're back on.
Yeah, it looks
Sorry.
like I'm
All
back.
right. Have to apologize again for the interruption in the stream, but I think the internet people have been in my neighborhood doing all sorts of stuff with the lines or whatever, so I might just be getting cut off without having any control over it. I'm really sorry about that, but we're gonna keep on going where we were going from, which was Dragon Turtle.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, dragon turtle. We are. You guys push hard to pass that. Everybody is working. All of the crew members, the actual crew members, obviously. Shepard is not. Shepard Book is not. Because that's not his job. He's also a free passenger. Shepard Parma. I apologize. Shepard Book is the actual name. Shepard Parma is not, and Sierra is...
I mean, these aren't references, these are original creations.
Yes, they are. Not at all.
British trademark, copyright, do not steal.
Right, exactly. So they are... everybody else is taking care of this. The three of you are not workers on the ship. So everybody else is doing whatever sailing stuff that people do to make the ship go faster. And the dragon turtle is not giving chase. You guys got a good speed ahead, and he is not giving good chase. There are other ships in the sea, quite literally, and they're going to be much easier prey.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Because Eigner was not in a situation to be able to help, and yeah, it's just the exact. I'm glad that happened because that's the exact irony that I wanted to set up, where Eigner makes a big deal about being in charge, and then when there's a situation where someone needs to be in charge, he's incapacitated. It's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Okay. So, beyond that, pretty open, pretty calm. Take the good time of the year to sail. No storms. Just the one. I'm pretty sure a dragon turtle is going to keep everything else dangerous out of the water in its territory. So you don't have you see sharks and stuff like that, like little dangers, but nothing that's going to be a threat. Not a real threat to compared to the rest of the world. So you guys, you make it to the islands with no other problems. So, do you have the image, Kyle, of the islands?
No. All I have is the Volahine world map. Well,
Okay.
oh wait. Are they there? I mean, can you guys see it on your Twitch stream?
That's the Volahine one.
Yeah.
I see the Volahine one.
Oh,
No, I'm
so you're
about
talking about the other image that you had. No, I
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
I actually don't have that one, but I can have it next time. Next time on Volahine Winds of War, Kyle will have the right image.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So they approach. There is. I wonder if I can pull that off. You come up there. There's several islands, and there's. Wait, hold on. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm looking for. See if I can find. I don't want to mess with anything today, so we'll just not. Because I was prepared for that. So yeah, you come up across islands. There's from your vantage point, the southernmost one is the one that you're heading towards. It's kind of a big one. The biggest one is in the middle, and it has some mountains and whatnot, and deep, thick forests. But as you are approaching the island, there are some people who are greeting you. Not a big, whatever, but there are a few people that are there to greet you. So as you land, you see closer, there is a, maybe upper middle-aged looking halfling, and a middle-aged halfling male, a middle-aged halfling male, ghostwise middle-aged halfling female, and a very young, still an adult but relatively very young halfling female, along with a kenku that are there waiting for you.
While Eigner and the other guys are still kind of out of earshot, I'm just gonna mumble to you two and say so this is an entire island chain of Altons, essentially. Are they all going to be talking in my head at the same time? Because if they are, I really don't think I can handle that.
Well, Eigner, that Alton is very much like a bird. A little crow bird, but like a bird.
Do they
can't fly.
Did they do the same thing?
I don't
What
know.
do you mean?
Do they
The
talk?
little bird?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just asking these two guys oh, who, me or him or
You're asking the question.
Okay.
I ask people who are proficient. You ask me, you do it.
I rolled a 4. I don't know, so I'm.
You don't know. It's a little black bird that looks suspiciously like a crow.
It's a little crow thing. I've never seen one before.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with hesitation, we will approach, and I'm gonna think of trying to phrase the question of please don't talk all in my head at once, or that statement or whatever.
So, surprisingly, Alton is the first to disembark when you guys land, and drops anchor and everything like that. And you, Alton is the first to disembark, and all of a sudden you hear out loud, Guppy! From the younger, welcome back! And she goes up and gives Alton a hug, and he just kind of does that little thing, And the middle-aged woman goes up and gives him a hug, and she goes, "I'm so glad that you made it back home safe, Guppy." And the older gentleman is just sitting there, just kind of happy, but not really showing a lot of emotion.
All right, we're meeting Alton's family, man. Well,
I'm going to quite loudly vocalize my confusion and amusement. Guppy?
Oh, we're
Yeah,
gonna. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry.
You go ahead.
Oh, we're gonna call you Guppy now. That's what I was gonna say. Guppy.
Before we jump to hasty conclusions of criticizing a good friend, I should point out that it might be very disrespectful for us to use this name for him.
No, it sounds better than Alton.
This might be true, but we are not immediate family, and halflings have a way of using different names in different circumstances.
Ah, yes, I was being insensitive. I apologize.
They're fairly far away, so Alton and the family don't really hear you having this little exchange. You are watching the youngest and the mom just kind of like having fun or whatever, and then the small bird goes into the ship silently to go grab to just kind of go into the bunks, and he goes and he starts grabbing luggage, and Alton grabs his family and kind of ushers them towards the three of you. And the older gentleman says, "Good afternoon. I did not expect Guppy's friends to actually join him here."
He's saying this out loud.
Yeah, he's saying this out loud.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna reestablish, just because I'm sure it's hard to remember. In group situations, they speak out loud. In individual situations, they speak telepathically.
Okay.
So you're not gonna ever hear like a bunch of, because that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's just Eigner being surly.
Yeah, that's just Eigner being surly. So he says, well, since someone is bad manners, I will introduce myself. I am Eldon Brightmoon. This is my wife, Joe, and our youngest daughter, Seraphina. But you can call her Sarah. I cannot. And then Joe, his mother, cuts him off and says, it's so great to actually meet you in person. First of all, I have to say that it's so great to actually meet you guys. Guppy talks about you all the time. Well, when I say all the time, it's Alton. That means that he's mentioned you a few times. But he talks about you more than anybody else. So that's something. And Alton is in the back, and he's just like embarrassed and kind of like trying not to show anything, but he's just like, oh god, this was a mistake. This was so much of a mistake.
Well, it is such a pleasure to meet you as well, and we do consider ourselves to be dear friends of Guppy. We dearly beloved Guppy.
You didn't say you were that close to them, Guppy. And Alton flashes you the most deadly of shit, and says, no, that's just his way. And she goes, oh, that's right. Big full car, so funny. I forget that you forget the ways of the halfling. It's okay.
I'm trying to do better. I apologize.
It's okay. And she kind of like pats you on the leg, and she goes, "It's okay. We understand. We don't get many big folk in this part. It's kind of out of the way, and there's not a lot of trade for you. But you know, just from time to time, we have the tranquility that comes by every now and then. They love spending. They love. This is a good waypoint for them. They say it's a great waypoint because they go all around the area with their smuggling, and so you know that's actually how we met them in the first place. Is because they stop by often enough that they've kind of become like staples in our city. The only big folk that kind of stick around.
I see. Well, they're good friends to us as well, so I'm glad that there's that mutual connection.
Yes. You know, that's when he left the island for the first time, was on their ship. Like, I mean, left the sea, the silent sea, not like the island. He's a fisherman, so clearly he left the island. But, you know,
Yeah.
like, when we say the island, we mean the islands. So, yeah. So she, Alton kind of comes up to you.
Making a note of all these new allies and things, so I apologize. I'm not.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you guys like, I can send you things afterwards if you'd like to.
Okay. Yeah.
That'd be super helpful.
I have all this stuff. I have all. I'll send it. I'll send it out in the whatever afterwards.
So that was Joe just speaking there.
Joe is the mom, correct. Eldon is the dad. Eldon. J-O is Joe.
And there's Serafina.
Serafina
Yes.
is the youngest.
Mhm.
You can call her Sarah, S-E-R-A. And she is a little bashful.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll.
I would like to ask Joe. So this name, Guppy.
Mhm.
This is a familial affectation.
You're so funny. Alden has told us many stories about you. It is, yes. As a child, there were two things that Guppy loved. Being in the water and being in the water naked. And
Ooh.
so we called him Guppy because he's like a little fish.
Yep. That sounds about right.
And just at this point, Alton is just starting to like just weather it out. He's like,
Yep.
if I just let it go, just let it go, just let it go, just let it go.
Is this usual
Great
for
ammunition.
inhabitants of this island to have such nicknames?
No, I mean, yes and no. Some people do and some people don't. It's like anywhere else, I'd assume.
And you are the matriarch.
Yeah, yes, and I'm Alton's mother. Yes.
Might you be called Whale?
Wait, what?
I
Because
think that's
Guppy-
inappropriate on
Guppy-
many different levels.
Whale.
He's
Guppies are not baby whales, so I'll Start there.
But you enjoy breathing air, and you are mother to this pod. Are you not?
yes. That is not how nicknames work, though.
I do
Yeah.
apologize. I meant no offense.
It's okay. Alton has with his letters. I have gotten a vivid picture of you on.
Quite.
It is obviously a little different in person, but I have been forewarned.
I think I feel quite proud. I shall take a step back and allow other people interactions so that they don't start a war with an island nation.
Well, in this moment, as this conversation is happening, Eridu has gone down to one knee and is attempting to comfort Sarah, who seems to be a little nervous. And he kneels down and says, "I find Seraphina to be a very beautiful name. Long ago, when I had a family, I had a niece named Seraphina. She meant worlds to me. It is
Uh,
lovely to meet you."
she blushes hardcore. She is. She's trying to hide it, but fail. Like you could roll a natural one, and you would see it. Like she is failing miserably at hiding how much she's blushing and how enamored she is with you. Like when it wasn't as obvious before because you weren't focusing on her exclusively, but you realize now that she was padlocked on you the whole time.
Okay, yeah.
I think Eridu is cute too. I mean, I get it.
Eigner's always thought Eridu was cute.
Yeah, for real.
What is your favorite thing to do, Sarah?
Well, I like to read. There's these novels about I don't know, it's stupid.
I think reading is one of the most beneficial pastimes we can have. Please, what novels do you read?
Okay, there's these stories of okay, so my favorite one is this one where the village, a village elder is called to war, and on his way he gets lost, and it takes him 10 years to get back home. And when he gets back home, everybody assumed that he was dead, and so then he had to prove that he was alive, and instead of coming out right and showing himself, he proved himself in feats of strength.
That is a quite wonderful story. You know that he was one of my people, one of the long-lived.
Was he?
In our tellings of it, he was not gone for 10, but he was gone for 100 years.
Oh.
Of course, you need to expand things for those of us who live in that amount of time, because 10 years for us is nothing. To be gone 10 years is to be gone a day for most people who do not live as long as us.
That makes more sense. I can see why 100 years would be easier to forget someone. That makes more sense. Can you send me a copy of your books?
I do believe I have a couple of copies in my library. Do you prefer it written in our native tongue?
I don't know it, but I'd like to learn it.
It is a fascinating language, I believe. I would be happy to teach you.
I would love nothing more.
And with that, Eridu will begin to kind of enunciate simple words, and as you do when you're teaching somebody, just the basic greetings and how to say your name and those sorts of things.
Okay. She is eagerly eating every word.
Wow.
Wow.
It's only been a day.
I think Eigner is going.
You're slipping that, Eridu. You're slipping. It took you a day.
I think Eigner is going to be a little bit rude and kind of interrupt whatever interaction is going on, and maybe ask the two parents so am I to believe that this is our destination for the moment? I would like to be on solid ground, if that is permissible.
Oh yes. And Aiden speaks up and he says, Alton's made plans for you. You are each to stay in a different house. Alton will obviously stay in his room here. with us, and then tomorrow he has. Oh, excuse me. Tomorrow he has gotten a boat. I cannot say that word all of a sudden right now. Procured a boat for you to go out. You are going to you're going to swim out, or you're going to boat out there in a little boat, and stay out there for a couple of nights, and then on the third day come back, so you can kind of have your exercises, and that way tonight, if you need anything done, or you have time to prepare for the morning too.
Very well.
You will have to leave most of your stuff behind, though, because that is the way of. That is the way.
What am I allowed to bring?
Your basic stuff. You can keep all of your gear, your anything to defend yourself and whatnot, but any armors and stuff like that. You just like no provisions or tools or anything like that. Musical instruments you can keep.
Oh. Eigner is going to look a little, like, perturbed by that, but not really make a big deal out of it. It's just going to say, oh.
The idea is that you are to become one with each other as much as you are, or one with the land as much as you are with each other.
I see.
Okay. So, that puts us at 1:30. That's unless you guys have anything else that you want to talk about, we will continue after the break unless you have anything else.
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good at the stop there.